Hi, Burl.
Hey, Lauren.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. So, we just got back from spring break, having to adjust back to being in the office.
Came back gangbusters. I had two classes yesterday.
You had 2 classes yesterday?
I had 2 classes yesterday, and I had 2 classes yesterday.
Yeah, and we're starting to see our spring wave of research consultations coming in. Have you been getting them booked on your calendar?
I have one this afternoon.
I have a couple of them that are popping up on for the rest of my week. So
I have one this afternoon and a couple tomorrow.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked, honestly. I haven't looked at any days beyond today.
Oh, take your time.
Oh, no.
Take your time.
I've been off since before spring break because I had the research day, then I took off that Friday, and then I've been off.
So you're really just
So when I came back yesterday, I missed a lot of meetings yesterday because I didn't even get a chance to look at my email because the professor came in. My 6 o'clock class came for my 6 o'clock 6 o'clock class came in to test out the system and everything for his class right when I got here.
Wow.
So I didn't even get a chance to check my email, so I didn't even know there were meetings going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy.
It's that time of year.
That's it.
You got my questions and you don't want to guess. I got a recommendations and that I can suggest. Yes, this library questions that are part of request. Here's Burl and Laura with instruction request.
Well, hey, Ospreys. My name is Lauren Odom, and I am the instruction librarian.
And I'm Burl White-Bing. I am the virtual learning librarian.
And we are
Instruction Requests.
Well, we talk about common research questions, helpful resources,
and innovative technology contained in the Thomas G. Carpenter Library.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yes. It's a crazy day.
Yes. So... Actually, it's been a while. I forgot the order of events.
Oh, what's happening in instruction?
Did we do it before the research question?
Okay, go ahead. Do the research question.
Let's talk about the research question of the day. So someone came into our lib chat. So they just, not the lib chat, I'm sorry. They submitted a ticket to Lib Answers. And they were asking, how can they go about requesting a digital copy of a commencement program from the early 2000s? And so this actually touches on one of the resources we're going to talk about in a little while today. But that commencement flyer is available in the Digital Commons. So the Digital Commons is our repository for papers, artwork, any kind of
VR experiences.
The podcast lives on the Digital Commons. Any kind of faculty research can be submitted to be housed in the Digital Commons. And so it's kind of like it's part of our archiving system that we have over in the library for just mementos and different historical things.
Any kind of data, research data. I tell some of the faculty members who are doing research who keep their data on a thumb drive. I went to to wash my car, and I had a lot of data on my thumb drive, and I was cleaning out the car, and it hit that thumb drive. And it was gone.
Oh, no.
To wherever dirt goes in a vacuum.
Oh, no.
It was gone.
Seen again.
Thank goodness it was for my VR experience that I was doing.
Yeah.
And thank goodness I had it backed up.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But if you have data on a thumb drive, please don't do that.
Yeah.
And last year, when I was trying to save things to my computer, it kept saying I was out of memory.
Yeah, you needed to back it up.
So really saving your data on Digital Commons is a great idea.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to Digital Commons, because we can kind of talk about some of the cool features that it has.
Yes.
But I was able to go to the Digital Commons, look up commencement programs from the year that they requested. For privacy's sake, I won't give those details. But I was able to find the spring, summer, and fall programs for that year. And so if there is something that you might be interested in finding, maybe that you can't find at a local library, you can reach out and see if it's something that we may have in our Digital Commons. And for those who are doing any kind of work, as Beryl said, you can use that as a place to store some of your work, your work. So yeah, so that's our research question of the day. Oh, we didn't talk about what we're talking about. Today we're talking about history. And history resources in the library. We just got back from spring break.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It was a frazzled day.
Yeah. Yes. So what's happening in instruction?
Well, the only thing that I know about in instruction are, research consultations are ramping up. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that. And pretty much we're just kind of grinding down to the end of the semester.
Yeah.
We still have open office hours. They're still available, students, until the week before finals.
Yes.
So if you have any kind of help that you need, any kind of resource that you're looking for, anything like that, we still have maybe 3-4 weeks before the finals hit. Mm-hmm. And if you need help with anything, schedule a research consultation. And we have a new consultation station. It hasn't opened yet.
Yes.
But for in-person research consultations, we are preparing to open up our new consultation station. So that's coming soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It would be nice if we had a picture of it. So go pop.
I know.
But yeah,
we'll have one. Maybe by our recap episode.
Yep, great idea. Let's remember to do that. Yeah, so that is, like she said, it's not open yet, but it is located on the 3rd floor for students who may have passed by it and wonder what it was, or if they haven't gone up there yet, you can kind of go give it a peek. Yeah. And then we are actually working in instruction on overhauling some of our videos. So we're about to start a whole project to, get some updated.
Yeah, ADA is still going on as well.
Yeah, the ADA project.
I got an email from our systems librarian telling me one of my links was bad on one of my videos, but he just told me about one. So I was like, oh, hey, that's
good. One is a win. Yeah.
I could delete that one. Okay, that's gone.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about history resources in the library.
Okay.
All right, so the first resource that I wanted to cover is the Cultural Heritage and Historic Preservation Library Guide. So we have 3 library guides under the history category, and they serve slightly different purposes, but they kind of reference some of the same information. It just depends on what kind of research needs you have. So this one is where you can go find some more local information, especially if you go to the page that says local resources. So you'll find articles and images, and then your online resources are going to highlight the databases that we have here at UNF, but that local resources tab will point you to some other outside resources, and the federal government resources are some that we've covered here before in terms of our databases, like Hein Online. Then you have the historical research and History 3051, Craft of the Historian. More than likely, this was created for a particular class. So for our faculty who may be watching, we do work directly with faculty to create library guides for a course that you may have, and we can, make sure we put the kind of resources that you want to support your students on that library guide.
One centralized place.
Yes. Yeah. So this is an example of a custom guide that was done for a particular class. And so they've highlighted books, journal articles, encyclopedias and handbooks, primary documents, and then historical periods. The option to do the interlibrary loan, just because sometimes there are resources that we don't necessarily have in our repository that students can still access by borrowing from other institutions. And then historiography is just another category of that. And then we have the Alan Lastinger Center for Florida History. So I really wanted to highlight this because this is a center located on our second floor. It was officially open. I don't think it has been 6 months. Maybe it's been 6 months ago. And so it is run by Hillary Streifer, who is the Alan Lastinger Center for Florida History librarian. And you know, a lot of students don't necessarily know that that space is open and available for doing research on local Florida history. There's a series of maps that have been donated that you can go in and check out, or you can just utilize that space. It's a beautiful space as a quiet study area. So we do invite you and welcome you to go into that space, and you can always check out this library guide.
And one thing to point out is that students can go in there. I think because they look at it and it looks like it's very pristine and it looks, you know, they don't want to go in there.
They don't want to go in there.
It is a quiet space.
It's a quiet space.
On the second floor, which is unusual on the second floor. So, but it is a quiet place, but it is a place that you can go and study. And many times we have one librarian that likes to take her students in there for her research consultations.
Yeah.
So so go in.
Yeah, so go in, check it out, especially with some changes coming to the third and the fourth floor. I know some students will be looking for different quiet spaces to study
Because
in.
when we think about the third floor, I like to tell students that if you come to the third floor, that's where the virtual learning center is, that's where the consultation station is, that's where the recording studio is. On that side, they are also going to be connecting to the new building that they're building, the Student Success Center.
Yeah.
So, but on the right-hand side of that floor, there's several quiet rooms. And quiet areas and study rooms. So if you need absolute quiet, you need to go to the fourth floor, okay?
Go to the fourth, but that's going to change soon, right? Because of the area on the side of the balcony.
What area?
The on the floor where the balcony is, that side of the floor. I mean, you know, we're repurposing that space for some things as well. So
I didn't know that.
So so if you need a quiet space, you want to try. You want to go to the second floor and go to the Alan Lastinger Center for Florida History, or even the Special Collections Department on the first floor. That's probably a guide I could highlighted as well. We do have a Special Collections and University Archives.
The first floor, they can go in there. And the only problem is, though, that area has limited hours. I think they close at 4:30.
Yeah, and you can always check the library website and the hours to see when those spaces are open. They both have their own.
Alan Lastinger closes early too.
Do they?
I think.
But the great part is you don't have to go. You don't have to have an appointment to go in there. Unless you are looking to look at those maps, or you want to meet with that particular librarian, that's the only reason you would need. But you really can just open the door and walk in.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we harbored on that, but we're like promoting the Alan Lastinger Center.
Yes.
Go in there, please, guys. It's there for you. It's brand new.
And they're having an event. Aren't they having a speaker?
They are doing a speaker series.
Yeah, so check out the calendar on the library's website.
Yes.
And they're having I think he's a historian.
Awesome.
That is going to be speaking.
I should have had, can navigate the library.
I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Okay. All right, so let's cover some of the databases that we have. And I do have like a repeat back-to-back slide, but bear with me. So we are here at the database list. You can get to this from the database list link on the main library webpage. And you want to go to the subjects drop-down menu and choose history, okay? So we have 44 databases slated for history. We have a lot of history databases, actually. And so I'm only highlighting 5. There were so many I wanted to go through, but I didn't want to drag this episode on. So I'm just going to point out 5, but for our history majors, our humanities majors, you have a lot of options to choose from. So first things first is JSTOR, which you can search journals, images,
I love JSTOR.
Books. This is a great place for finding primary sources. I know that's really big depending on the kind of research projects you might have. You can search primary sources there. And an offshoot of JSTOR is ArtStore, which I didn't highlight it here, but it is a JSTOR product where you can search for art design, images, those kinds of things. So if you're needing historical artifacts and those kinds of things, you can look under ArchiveGrid. But JSTOR is definitely going to be a great one for like digitized journals and papers. And
JSTOR is great because it'll go all the way back to like 1100.
Yeah, it goes back. It's a fantastic resource for historical research. Yeah. All right, next we have Project MUSE. So Project MUSE allows you to actually, it's like a resource within a resource. So you can read journals and books inside of this database. So you wouldn't necessarily search for individual articles. You would look into journals and books and then go into like chapters and articles from there. So this is a great resource when you're looking also for our humanities, even anthropology, but history for sure. You have some options there. Then you have ArchiveGrid. I thought this was really cool. So you can actually do historical research by location, by choosing a state or a city on the map and looking up, it says historical documents, personal papers, family history, and more. So this will be great for you when you do your genealogy research.
Oh, yeah.
ArchiveGrid, because you could just like choose a place on the map and then you'll be able to see like what information has been uploaded into their database or into their collection.
Oh, I'm going to look as soon as I get back.
Yeah, so check out ArchiveGrid.
Mm-hmm. Look up South Carolina and Georgia.
There you
That's
go.
Where my family's from.
Then we have the Florida Digital Newspaper Library. So you can look into the different newspapers and you can go back into history. So they have digitized some of those older papers that were published over the years in different counties and different cities. So you can look up,
That's only Florida, though.
Yeah, this is only for the state of Florida, but across Florida, you can search by map, areas on the map. You can look up a particular title or a particular publisher. So if you're looking for the Florida Times-Union or I don't know what, Tampa's papers are, you can do your newspaper research.
Or local papers that are no longer in publication.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then we have the digital commons, which is what we talked about earlier from our research question of the day. So where it says search, you can enter a search term. So you can either enter like a keyword or a name if you're looking up a particular person. It is broken down into collections. So you can look at academic units. You see the Allen Lastinger Center for Florida History has their own collection, so you can go in and look at those maps. Archives and special collections, the different offices on campus. There are images, journals, some student papers, maybe some dissertations they might have written and, submitted to the archive. And you can actually look up under our author corner, you can search by name. So I can go and actually search my name, and then it will tell me how many items are listed under my name as me in the digital collections. So every episode of the instruction request is uploaded into the digital commons. It's under the Thomas G. Carpenter Library Collection there on the left-hand side. And, actually, you probably have to go to all collections. But anyway, the great thing about the digital commons is that, like Burl was stating earlier about trying to keep track of your numbers, is that it keeps track of metrics. So you're able to see how many people are downloading your materials, how many people are viewing what it is that you've uploaded, whether it's a PowerPoint presentation or a poster.
Or a VR
experience. If it's a video, people can watch it directly in the digital commons. And so now you're able to see your viewership. And then it does this really cool thing where it shows you a map and you can see your global impact. So you will see how many people are watching from China or how many people are watching from Brazil, which is how we know that different people all over the world are actually watching instruction requests. Thank you to all of our viewers for checking us out.
What should we call our viewers? Let's see. students.
Our international students. Hey,
our international
global
students.
audience. Thank you guys. So for our faculty members or
our swoopers,
researchers, just know that this is. There you go. There you go. Swoopers. Just know that if you upload your work into the digital commons, this is another way of being able to track the impact of your work and the different metrics, the alt metrics and the bibliometrics as well, with visuals, which is pretty cool. So that's all I have for history databases. Like I said, there are so many from different areas of history. Some of them covers particular time frames. Some of them go back maybe to like 1996 to present, and then some of them are like 1850 to 1930 only. It just depends on the kind of research that you're doing. So,
well, I looked up the Alan Lassinger Center for Florida History Speaker Series, and of course, our episode probably won't air in time, but if you pay attention to the calendar, they're doing a speaker series. Yes. So this is just one episode that they're doing for the 250th birthday of America. They're doing a deep indigenous history of northeastern Florida through archaeology, presented by Dr. Keith Ashley. Nice. So they are doing a speaker series on the history of Florida. Very so nice. If you can't catch Dr. Ashley's, which they probably will record, I imagine. Yeah. And maybe upload.
And it might be in a digital
and make it available. Yeah. Check out any kind of future events that they have, because they're really, really cool.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
All right. So what's happening in the VLC? I'm going to talk about. I'm not really going to talk about history, because we have a lot of historical VR experiences, and I've shown several of them in the past. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really going to talk about history. I want to talk about some of the licenses that we have. So in future episodes, I'm just going to talk about licensed VR experiences that we have. And many of these licensed VR experiences have incorporated AI. And one of them is called Ovation. Ovation is Professor Dr. Berg from Nutrition Department called me from a conference, and she was blown away by this VR experience that helps students with speaking. So you can speak with realistic AI avatars and get AI generated feedback about your performance. So what I did, I went into a video and I did a playthrough. It's not really a playthrough, it's just to show you what it looks like. You overcome your fear of public speaking, perfect your presentations, you can practice mock interviews, role play any scenario, boost language fluency, so much that you can do with this software, and it's been very popular with the students. I think I've had maybe 60 students come in the past month.
Nice.
So that is really, really good, and I want everyone to know about it, and I want you to come into the VLC. Even if you haven't been assigned it, but you want to practice a presentation or an interview or anything like that, come into the VLC. So Andy, if you could cue the video. Okay, when you come in, when you put the headset on, this is the library, and in the library we have all of the experiences that are stored on the headset. We can click on Ovation. Ovation is a portable program, so you won't have to be connected to a computer, although it also can be used for those of you who don't want to use a headset. Although it's made for VR, it can be used with a microphone at a desk. Okay, so you have your news about, all the different upgrades to the software to your left, it gives you instructions on how to use your controllers because you have your hands here. So you can select using the trigger. You press the A button to trigger that. If you want to do a laser when you're doing your presentation, you can do the B or the Y button. Okay, so now I'm not going to sign in, but if you come to me or if you come by the VLC and you want to use Ovation, I can we have some generic accounts that we have, which we call a test account, where you can do like, say, a impromptu speech or an elevator pitch. But for purposes of today, we're just going to look around. So we're just going to skip and look around and see what's in Ovation. So the one that we have, the one-on-one conversation, you can discuss a topic with an AI person that you program, and I'll show you that in just a second. Impromptu speech, several topics that you can do, or you can program your own speech if you just want to. You can interview. Say you have an career services. If you have a student who has a job interview and they want to practice for an interview, or if there are any nursing students out there having to interview to get into a master's program, or you're trying to go somewhere, come by the VLC and practice your interviewing skill. Language tutoring, practice speaking a language with a tutor. Debate, engage in a moderated debate. Speech, deliver a prepared speech with optional question and answers. You can program plants in the audience who will be AI plants that you can say, okay, I want this person to be argumentative, or I want this person to ask difficult questions. You can import your slides into the program. And then at the end, it'll give you feedback. If you're out there and you want to practice a podcast, you can use this podcast, which I probably should have used for this podcast. You can do an interrogation, criminal justice students. Interrogate a suspect in Ovation. Group conversations, elevator pitches, investor pitches. All you business students out there looking for funding for your great idea, come practice your investor pitch in a Shark Tank kind of a situation. Are you shy going on your first date, students? Oh, get to know a potential romantic partner. A therapy session for all you mental health counselors. Medical exam for our Brooks College of Health students. Medical exam, answer medical questions from a patient. Doing a press conference. We have any communication students out there doing a press conference? Come practice asking questions or practice taking questions from the press. Religious studies, philosophy students, deliver a spiritual talk or an inspirational talk. Come practice that. They have panel interviews, examine a witness, testify, and trial argument. So I'm going to go all the way back here to impromptu speech. You can decide where you want it to be. It can be in a hotel conference room. You can change that to where you want it to be. It could be in a pitch room, a conference room, or say you teachers out there, you want to practice a lesson plan. Come do your lesson plan in this classroom. And then you can also program. So I'm going to pick a classroom. And then once I pick the classroom, Ovation loads. And while it's loading, I'm going to talk about picking plants in the classroom. You can change these. You see how when you click on them, it says what they're doing. Or you can delete them, like I don't want her. I want the class to be, say I want the class to be empty. So I can do whatever I want. I can program this. And instructors, you can you can program what you want your students to do and what you want the AI to do back at them. So you have a prompt here, or you can just put in whatever it's going to be, AI generated prompts, or you can, do whatever you want to do. And it's not giving it to me because I didn't log in. If I logged in, then it would show me all of the prompt selections. And here they are. What is the best tip for time management? So that would be tips and tricks. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to continue. And then I'm going to say, okay, I want the audience to be high school students. Okay. And that's how you can generate what you want in plain language. Will generate a scene scenario modifier you can edit. So you can do it that way. If you click over here, it talks about if you want to do it in a multiplayer kind of session, then two people can do a presentation together. It tells you your recordings, how long they lasted. You can save them. You can view, edit your recordings and import and your assignments in here, because faculty can assign you things to do. Or if you want to assign yourself, you can create your own information in Ovation. And then it'll give you a report. And your reports will look like, I can't show you a sample report because I'm just kind of looking around. But it will give you feedback on how you did. So you can set your settings, look at your recording, set your height, avatars, what you want your avatars to look like, all of that. So that's Ovation. So bye, everybody. And that's it.
Yeah.
That was a very enjoyable video and some ideas for usage. If you can come up with one, I put down educators practicing a lesson plan, business students or marketing students who are doing a Shark Tank kind of pitch, elevator pitches for business opportunities. ESL and other language learners can come in to improve conversational fluency. They even have a section in that video, I think you might have seen it, where you're going on a first date.
Oh, that's cute.
And you can practice talking to, whoever you want to go on a date with.
Yeah.
And then you get AI-powered feedback and analysis of how you did, how much eye contact you made, how many ums you said, now I'm saying okay. All right. And you also have full transcripts that are available in the app and downloadable. Now, I know there's some people say, I don't like VR. You don't have to like VR. If you want to come into the VLC and use it, we have 5 licenses. So only 5 people can use it at a time. So that means that if you want to assign your class to use it, then you will just email libraryvr@unf.edu. And I'll set you up an account, and then you can add all of your students, and then you can assign them what you want. Jeff Marshall is our representative, and he is more than willing to work with faculty, and he will set up an appointment just like that to walk you through how to program the AI to be argumentative, or program the AI to be inquisitive, to ask a lot of questions, like one of our librarians, who I always can count on Dan to ask a question. But that's Ovation. And I encourage students, faculty, even if you're not assigned, come on in and try Ovation VR.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nice.
That's it.
All right. Well, so in our next episode, we're going to be talking about biomedical sciences.
Biomedical sciences. Yes.
So, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Instruction Request Podcast. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm brain farting left and right. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Remember that if you need assistance, then you can always schedule
a research consultation.
And you can always schedule
an instruction request.